Let's welcome tonight's guests. She's as blunt as an axe and twice as cutting. Fox business contributor Dagan McDowell. Well, he's so bright, he works part-time as a flashlight. He's also very small. Author Michael Malice. She's a big fan of free drinks and crying in public bathrooms. It's Joanne Osachinsky. And if facts were flies, she'd be flypaper. It's our op-ed, Catherine Timp from National Review. And he had nothing better to do this holiday weekend. It's our liberal panel. There he is. Boo. All right. This summer, the airwaves were dominated by Donald, Hillary, Rachel, Ariana, Caitlyn, prison, flags, emails, debates, and a Big Mac Whopper marriage that never happened, thank God. My favorite story of the summer, some Americans, a Brit and a Frenchman taking down a terrorist on a Paris-bound train. This is my favorite story because it illustrates two sides of a scary coin. One, that it took the heroism of a group of men to stop incredible carnage. But two, worse, it shows you that without the heroism, there would have been incredible carnage. This thug was on a watch list, and it didn't matter. He roamed freely among the masses. My conclusion, we're sitting ducks for massacres unless we rethink security and surveillance. All right, Dagan, any thoughts on what I'm saying? I believe that we have to treat this heroic effort as though something bad happened and not just be happy that, you know, nobody died.
I hope that people look at it and realize that they're going to have to step up and that they follow the heroic efforts of all of these men in taking down this terrorist. Rather than being worried about it, I'm optimistic that...
No. I don't want to step up. I miss the days of the dining car and the white gloves. I wasn't alive those days, but I hear they were lovely.
They were.
Men are badasses and women can be too. Come on, man.
No, but my point is, you cannot rely on the you can't have a government rely on the kindness of strangers. If it wasn't for the heroism of these guys, Malice, there would have been 100 people dead, probably.
That's true, but let's be fair. Our government was founded on the kinds of strangers because George Washington's army were all volunteer, regular Americans. But this just again proves that the rest of the world will always have to depend on Americans to come and save their butts, especially the French.
Wow.
I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want to have to do anything. I want to sit on a train, pretend to be asleep, to get your own row.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you need to worry about.
I'm not going to even be walking to McDonald's with you.
I think...
That's
I'm serious.
Sure.
I think that surveillance and security should be treated like a public health issue, the same way you treat food safety and car safety. It's time for the public and the private and the government to work together and create a national police state.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw your face. Because terrorists are going to be using private pathways to destroy us. Private companies have to get involved. I'm tired of talking about this because I know that I'm right and I want to move on. Your story, Dagan, was Trump.
Yes, it is the perfect summertime story, right? It is like a bad hookup on a hot August night. He has pretty good pickup lines.
Yes.
But then there's the unfortunate fumbling and the empty promises. He will quickly end up insulting you about maybe your love handles. And then it's all over. And by the middle of September, you're acting like you don't even know the guy. You don't remember any of this, or you blame tequila. That's how it's going to turn out.
It's true. Trump is America's summer fling.
How do you, but it could,
But some people try to get that summer fling and like bring them to meet the family for Thanksgiving and, you know, to Christmas. You want the presents. You know, you want arm candy.
But not a bad summer fling. I have a feeling this fling is going to go into the fall and perhaps into January.
Yeah, and just like...
Because nothing else better comes along.
Yeah, I have said this before. He's football to the other candidate's soccer.
Well, also like how Barry Goldwater gave us Ronald Reagan, even if he doesn't become anything, he's really coarsened our political discourse, and frankly, I think it's a positive.
You like it because he's brought rawness.
Yeah, and I'm sick of this kind of pretense and discourse. I think it's, you know, let's have warfare in Washington, just like we had back in there, people caning each other on the floor of the Senate.
Well, I will say to you, Kat, I find when he speaks to be very entertaining. I don't like his Twitter antics. That's what drives me nuts. It's like going on Twitter if you're going to be a president, to me, is kind of petty.
Well, I actually love going on Twitter. It's really great for me. I'm never alone when Twitter's around. But even his resting face is interesting. He doesn't have to be talking, even when he's just like... Do you think he sleeps like that? Is that how he wakes up in the morning?
At the start of the debate, this was his face.
Yeah.
No, but you know, it is. But you know what? He is. This is what he was born for, right? I think this is what he's born for. He is a natural at talking to people. He does repeat himself over and over and over again. But so do I. I'm jealous.
More interesting when he does it.
Yeah, I'm jealous of him. All right, Malice, what's your story?
Well, my story is, as we all know, Pyongyang and North Korea are the craziest country on earth. And just this past summer, they invented their own time zone. So now Pyongyang is half an hour before the rest of that time zone, going back to the time before as they call it, the evil conquered them and made them a colony. But, you know, it's not the crazy thing they've done with this. In 1997, they invented their own calendar. So rather than starting from the birth of Christ, they start from the birth of the great leader Kim Il-sung. So now, according to North Korea, we're in the year 104.
You know what's funny? And you people are going to think I'm weird. I never experienced a different time zone until I was 21 or 22 when I flew to Washington, D.C. I lived in California. I only had one time zone. You never had to leave California, or you went to Mexico or Seattle. But the time zone was the same. I didn't even know what a time zone was. When somebody explained it to me, I go, I didn't get it. When people would talk about jet lag, I didn't understand what jet lag was. I know.
Did you pretend that you understood what it was, though?
I pretended,
Yeah.
but time zones, I didn't understand until I flew to D.C. for a job interview.
How old were you?
Probably 21.
Hey,
but I never would. I had no desire. I didn't have relatives that lived far away.
In the
The only
words of
reason
my
I travel, relatives,
Yeah,
really,
in the
yeah.
words of my daddy, I don't believe I would have told that.
Yes.
Wow.
By the way, when I think about North Korea, I think about this. We don't need Marvel Comics-based movies. We don't. Why can't? We already have a Marvel villain in North Korea. America should be the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think it's really sad how North Korea is often portrayed as a carnival when, in fact, they have concentration camps and they starve children for political purposes. So
they kill people.
This
They
is
eat
the
people.
realest villainy we have on Earth today.
Yeah, and something bad's going to happen, right?
Something good, hopefully. They're going to collapse soon. It's starting already.
Do you really believe that?
Yes.
You've been there.
I have been there, and it's starting because people are now using markets to provide food because the government couldn't do it. And this creeping cynicism is the thing that brought down the Soviet Union as well.
All right, something more important, Joanne.
Yep.
Your story was Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande,
Oh yeah, I say it bad.
as in large.
Yes, I say it bad.
It's the largest story
Yes.
of the summer. I'm fascinated by the fact that Americans shamed a female celebrity for having a snack. We are always talking about how these celebrities don't eat, or are they
Yeah.
good role models because they're so thin. She was enjoying a nice, tasty donut, the treat that
She
is
spit
American.
on it!
It was a donation.
No,
If they would have
she
sold those donuts on eBay, that would have been millions for this donut shop, but nobody understands
And
capitalism
I
anymore.
would like to thank our good friends at TMZ for providing us with a video of my favorite summer moment.
I don't know. I think the worst thing in the world are young people with fame and money, because when they get it early, they have no wisdom and they have no humility. So what they do is they spit on other people's food and they think it's funny. Or Justin Bieber urinating.
She thought
Well,
it was funny.
but too, if Ariana were Aaron Grande, I think that this story wouldn't have had as much traction because we expect that kind of behavior from boys. Not
But the boy singers look, I mean, they all look the same. I mean,
That's true.
You know, I can't wait until she's behind the counter serving the donuts.
Amen.
And I'll be there with a camera filming
Oh,
your
come on. You know she's going to
scrawny
be
butt.
dead before she's 25. She's never going to.
Wait a minute. Malice, you are so named correctly, Malice. I don't know. I mean, she is the recipient of the steroidal news cycle. 24 hours. It was less than 48 hours. It was gone.
Yeah.
It just went away. All right. You, Catherine, story.
The escaped convicts. Those guys, right?
Yeah.
They almost did it, but they were drunk. They were getting drunk. If you have stuff to do, I know it's fun to party, I know it's fun to booze. Don't drink before work. Definitely when you're trying to avoid life imprisonment. Just be sober
Wait, I'm
for
not.
a little bit.
When should I not drink?
When you're trying to avoid being in prison for the rest of your life. Yeah, don't drink.
Every man indulges in this fantasy. It is a sexist comment, but we've always wondered where we would go and who would we call if we were escaping either where we live.
I indulge in this
Live-
fantasy as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, have you?
Yes,
Escaping
yes,
from a
yes.
women's prison? What would you be wearing?
Yes. What would I be wearing? Well, probably the prison jumpsuit, but I would have to make sure that before I went, I manipulated somebody before from the outside.
Exactly.
Instead of from the inside.
This is the lesson. This is the lesson. You need a year of manipulation of one person. All you need is to manipulate one person to help you, and everything's set.
I hope Huma Abedin's listening because she's going to have to, point in these chips pretty soon.
That's good.
Would I be allowed to wear these glasses in prison?
I don't know.
Yes,
I think so.
You do get
Okay.
to wear the glasses. I think this is a lesson for women. If you want to find a hot guy who works out, who's tight, you got to work in a prison. 'Cause there are
Noted.
none of them on the outside of the walls anymore.
Speaking of walls, Liberal panel, what was your story of the summer?
My story this summer was NASA's New Horizon Pluto flyby, Greg. It was a story that reminded Americans that at heart we are explorers, pioneers, and innovators, and the world should thank us for illuminating yet another corner of creation's majesty.
Wow.
I love you.
I love you too, but for...
We're one human family.
No, you're not human. By the way, too bad we don't have a space program anymore.
I disagree. We have a humble and ambitious space program that still stares at the stars and dreams that the universe is America's.
Oh, well, you're sad.
We own Pluto.
All right.
USA.
Any comments on that story?
The best part of the flyby was that we saw that Pluto actually has a heart on it. So it's a very cute little planet, and that's my favorite.
It's an adorable planet.
And it, of course, did not want to be considered adorable. It's like, no, I'm a real planet.
There's the heart. There it is. Some alien put that there. It'll be a gift. You know what it'll be? It'll be like a Putin. That'll be a gift Putin gives to somebody later. Speaking of gifts, if you haven't pre-ordered my new book, How to Be Right, basically teaches you how to be persuasive when it comes to being in a political argument, or any argument for that matter. You can go to gutfeld.com or Amazon and order it. It's a beautiful book. And look how it's small. You can read it. You can read it in an hour. According to new research, as opposed to old, cat videos are just as stimulating as a cup of coffee. So I agreed to let the millennials go to an internet cat exhibit in the hopes that I won't fall asleep during the package. Roll it, Fran.
People say us millennials aren't cultured enough. And that is just plain wrong. So wrong, in fact, that we have decided to come to the Museum of the Moving Image to celebrate our appreciation for fine art.
And to celebrate the art of our generation, internet cats.
I haven't seen work like this since the Mona Lisa. Trump Your Cat is not only relevant to today's times, but relevant to every art enthusiast.
The cat wants a cheeseburger. He does not have a cheeseburger. Why does he not have a cheeseburger? I think the artist was trying to comment on the lack of resources in the Obama economy.
So how does this art make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel all kinds of things. I feel bad for some of the cats. I love some of the cats.
What has been your favorite part so far?
Coming here. I really like your costume, though. Where'd you get it?
I don't understand the question.
If you look at the shadows, I think that also represents something.
Everything represents something.
Yes.
There are no mistakes. There are no coincidences in art.
I think I might cry.
I did already today, so.
I just saw one that really upset me.
And what one was that?
Well, that was the one where the poor cat went into the urn, and I have no idea whether it could get out or not.
But that might, in fact, be the artist's intent.
Well, that's not the only one I didn't like. I also didn't like the cat that was getting really dizzy on the turntable.
Yeah, I feel for that cat. I do. I do.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad, because other people are laughing. I didn't think it was funny.
We all interpret art differently, that's for sure.
Could you get out of bed in the morning without internet cat videos?
Yeah, I could imagine that, yeah. I could, yeah.
Wow, stronger than me, I guess. Yeah. All right. What about you?
Well, I could, but my son can't. He's another cat crazy person.
Is he single?
Yes, he is.
Nice. I don't have any problems anymore.
No.
I found all the answers.
All the answers. And it was right here the whole time.
It was on these internet cats
Yeah.
the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty impressive, Kat. Was that a life-changing... Oh, I called you Kat. Did it change your life?
Yeah, all the moments change our lives, right? Every moment changes
Yes.
your life a little bit. I I was incredibly comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I
very
could tell.
comfortable.
You rented that costume. It was probably worn by somebody who did something
Oh
in
no,
it.
I sleep in it now. I sleep in it now. yeah.
I do think it's important to point out that after we shot this entire thing, the museum spokeswoman wanted to make sure we understood that this was not an art exhibit, that this is sort of like a history, a timeline of internet cat videos and how they've kind of grown popular, which just means she doesn't get art.
Everything's art. Everything you do is art.
Everything you do. Malice, even you're kind of like an art exhibit, at least with that hair. How did you take this museum? Did you like it?
I hate cats.
You do?
This past summer, I went to Prague because my friend's dad owns a zoo, and after the cheetah took a swipe at my face, I knew
Do you
the
think
truth.
that's cool? When people say I hate cats, like, man, you're so cool. I'm too cool for
Not
cats.
as cool as interrupting, apparently.
When you're 20,
So wait, I want to know what happened in the zoo.
I was playing with the cheetah. It turned around and took a swipe at my face, and after that, I've become a dog person through and through. I've known evil.
why were you playing
with a cheetah?
Because it's at a zoo that my friend's dad owns. Pay attention. This isn't complicated.
No, but you know what's complicated is who has a friend that owns a zoo?
He's from Prague. They're all weird over there. It's like Balky.
So wait a minute. Everybody in Prague owns a zoo?
Both his parents own zoos. They're divorced. Yes.
All right. Thanks to Dagan McDowell, Michael Malice, Rob O'Neill, Tyrus, Joanne, Catherine, and the Liberal panel. My apologies to Chip Razorton. Good luck with their dinosaurs. I'm Greg Gutfeld, and I love you, America.